I'm sorry, what did you say? Have you ever been having an English conversation and the other person says, I'm sorry, I can't understand you. What did you say? That can be really frustrating, especially because you've probably been practicing English for a long time and other people still have a hard time speaking with you comfortably and understanding what you're saying. Why is this continuing to happen? Well, you're gonna find out in today's lesson. Hi, I'm Vanessa from SpeakEnglishWithVanessa.com, and in today's lesson, you are going to level up your speaking skills so that other people can actually understand you when you speak. And like always, I have created a free PDF worksheet with all of today's speaking and pronunciation tips. Plus, I have added a bonus downloadable audio in the PDF. You can only unlock it when you download the PDF worksheet, but this downloadable audio includes today's key pronunciation sentences so that you can practice speaking out loud, you can imitate or shadow my voice, and practice speaking wherever you want in your own life. To get this free PDF worksheet plus bonus audio, you just need to click on the link in the description, enter your name and email address, and voila, just like that, you will receive the worksheet in your email inbox. And the best part is you never need to sign up for my free worksheets ever again. I will automatically send them to you every single week in your email inbox. It is my continued gift to you. So click on the link in the description to get today's free worksheet plus downloadable audio. And if you like the idea of practicing with me and speaking with my voice, I want to invite you to take a look at a sneak peek of my new app, the Speak with Vanessa AI app. You can have 24/7 English speaking practice, unlimited practice, and there's no pressure, no stress. You can speak as much as you want, make as many mistakes as you want, and improve every single time that you speak. You can click on the link in the description to get a sneak peek of this new app today. All right, let's get started with our first English speaking lesson where you're gonna learn 5 secrets to an American English accent. If you have ever watched English TV shows or movies, and when Americans are speaking, you wonder, why do they sound so fast? Why do they sound so American? How can I speak like that too? Well, this lesson is for you. So buckle up, make sure that you speak out loud, repeat after my voice. You got it. Let's watch. All right, let's get started with our first American English phrase and pronunciation point. Have you ever been looking at social media and you thought, the grass is always greener on the other side, and then you realized, maybe the grass isn't always greener on the other side. There's probably some hidden costs to all of these wonderful things that you're seeing online. And that's really the truth. Social media is not real. So this common phrase, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, means that the other person's life or something that you're not experiencing always looks better than what you currently have. But in reality, that's not really true. If you get to that other place, if you do that other thing, it's not always the paradise that you expect. So let's break down this pronunciation so that you can use this phrase and say it clearly. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Do you hear the sound that I emphasized? This is the R sound, or in American English, we often call this the colored R because it's very strong. Listen to it when I say the word grass. Grass. Does this remind you of an angry dog? Grrr, grrr. And this is a way to have the American English R sound. Can you say it with me? The grass. The grass. Let's add the rest of this phrase. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. So don't forget that hard R sound in the word greener at the end, and also in the word other. Having that strong colored R sound at the end of the word is essential in American English. Let's say this full phrase one more time, and I want you to try to say it with me. Are you ready? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. All right, let's go on to our second phrase and also our second American English pronunciation point. Are you someone who is always late? Well, it might be useful for you to use this phrase, better late than never. Better late than never. Unfortunately, I have had to use this many times. I am often late, hopefully just by a few minutes, but it's still nice to apologize. And you can use this lovely phrase. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. Better late than never. You could say it with a little joke in your voice. But let's break down this pronunciation. Better late than never. Listen to that word. Better. Is there a D in this word? Better? Are we talking about a bed that you go to sleep in? Nope. In American English, a T that is surrounded by vowels or vowel sounds will change to a D. Better. This is common in the word water, or maybe you're wearing a sweater. This is typical of American English. So when you use this phrase, make sure that you pronounce it like this. Better late than never. Our third American English phrase and American English pronunciation is included in this phrase. Don't get bent out of shape over it. Don't get bent out of shape over it. What's happening here? Well, there's one concept that we just talked about. Listen to the middle of this phrase. Out of shape. Here this T is changing to a D, but we've already talked about that. Don't get bent out of shape. So what else are we adding here? Listen carefully for another T sound. A lot of these words end in T, but as I say this phrase, I want you to listen to see if you can hear any of them. Do you hear when I say this phrase? Don't get bent out of shape over it. The sad news is no. All of these T's are what we call stopped T's. So it's not wrong to say don't get bent, but when you hear fast American English speakers, you're gonna hear them stop the T in their mouth. So let's take a look at this common contraction. Do not becomes don't, but when we pronounce it in a fast sentence, you're more likely to hear don't. My tongue is at the top of my mouth, like it's going to make that T shape, but I just don't let the air come out. Don't get, my tongue is stopped at the top of my mouth. I did not say get. Instead, I said get, and then the next word, bent, becomes bent. Don't get bent. And our next word is the linking with the D sound. Outa shape over it. And that final word, it, also has a stopped T. So that T is going to be at the top of my mouth. It. This is a lot. Let me give you the context and what this means, and then we'll say it together. Let's imagine that your friend's boss gives her some, we'll say, constructive criticism, some feedback that maybe didn't feel too great to get. You might say, hey, your boss was just trying to help. Don't get bent out of shape over it. She was just trying to give you some advice. It might not sound kind, and it's certainly not something you really wanted to hear, but don't get bent out of shape over it. You're not going to get fired. It's going to be okay. This means don't take something too seriously. So can you say this phrase with me? Yes, let's say it together. Don't get bent out of shape over it. Don't get bent out of shape over it. Don't get bent out of shape over it. It'll be okay. Our fourth American English phrase and American English pronunciation is included in this phrase. What goes around comes around. Let's talk about this pronunciation really quick. What goes around comes around. Here we have two instances where the S at the end of goes is followed by a vowel. So that S is going to sound like a Z in American English. What goes around comes around. And this phrase has to do with your behavior, if it's good or bad, like karma, will hopefully happen to you again too. Usually we use this in a negative sense to make ourselves feel a little bit better. So for example, if someone is not a nice person, you might say, well, what goes around comes around. Someday someone is going to be mean to him too. Or if one of your coworkers gets fired because they're always late, you might say, well, what goes around comes around. He didn't respect his job and this business. He was always late, so he got fired. His own actions ended up affecting him. You can use this with positive things like, I'm always nice to my friends, and when I need them, they also care for me. We could say what goes around comes around because your behavior is coming back to you, but it's more likely used in a negative situation. Bad behavior will come back to haunt you someday. So let's try to say this phrase together with the S changing to a Z so that you can use it clearly and accurately in conversations. Are you ready? What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. Great work. Our final American English phrase and American English pronunciation point is this phrase. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Does this phrase exist in your language? I feel like this is kind of an international idea, that you're dealing with a problem and you know that some other problems might come in the future, but you don't want to think about them now. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's focus on our current problems instead. Well, let's take a look at this pronunciation, especially that first word. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. You can say this contraction very clearly. We'll. We plus will is we'll. But in fast American English, we often reduce this in a relaxed way, and we say wool, wool. This is similar to these other contractions as well, like you'll, you'll. Instead of saying you will, we say you'll, you'll. And same as we will, wool. So could you say this with me? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. For my family, we raised 7 baby chicks, and we knew that having adult chickens would be a lot of work, but we kind of just said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's enjoy these baby chicks while we have them. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's say it all together. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Great work. Our next English speaking lesson to help you really be understandable when you speak in English and understand other people better is how to pronounce the top 10 most difficult words in English. But because here on this YouTube channel, I teach you real life English, these are not unknown weird words. These are real everyday words that are really tricky, like the word teeth, or asks, or tests. These are tongue twister words that we use all the time, and I want you to be able to pronounce them naturally, easily, and understand them as well. So let's get started. Our first category are words that end in TH. The second category are words that have SKS. And our final category are words that have STS. These all are quite tough, but after today's lesson, I hope you will have some power to be able to say them more clearly and understandably. Let's start with our first category, words that end in TH. Word number 1, month, month. Notice what my tongue is doing at the end of this word. It's out between my teeth and there's some lovely air streaming out. Month. Can you say it with me? Month. I think that the TH at the end of words is tricky for English learners because you often practice TH at the beginning of words. Thursday, thanks, theater. But when it comes to the end of the word, it kind of gets skipped over. So let's make sure that you can say this clearly in a sentence. October is my favorite month of the year. Say it with me. October is my favorite month of the year. Don't forget the TH. Let's go on to our next word. Word number 2 is teeth. Teeth. Notice the same thing is happening. My tongue is between my teeth and there's a stream of air coming out. Say it with me. Teeth, teeth. Let's put it in a sentence. Later this month, I'm going to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned. Say that whole sentence with me. Later this month, I'm going to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned. Each of these sentences is going to include the previous word, so I hope that you'll be able to easily integrate it into your pronunciation as you speak. All right, let's go to our next one. Fourth, fourth. This is talking about four, but we're going to add a TH on the end, and there's a tricky R before the TH, so say it with me. Fourth, fourth. You can just think about the word for, and then we're going to add on a TH. Fourth, fourth, fourth. Let's put it in a sentence. I brushed my teeth after I ate my fourth piece of chocolate. Say it with me. I brushed my teeth after I ate my fourth piece of chocolate. Are you feeling a little bit better about the TH at the end of words? Don't forget it. It's there and it's important. Let's go to our next category. Our second category of tough words are words that end in SKS. This is actually a category of words that sometimes trips up native English speakers too, especially if we're trying to say something again and again. If you're repeating one of these words, sometimes you think about it too much and it starts to sound weird and you realize, can I say this right? How do you say this word? Is this weird? So I want to help you as an English learner be able to say it right as well. Asks, asks. Don't you see how this could be weird? Let's slow it down. Asks. Let's focus on just the last two letters. KS. 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 Can you say that with me? Ks. Ks. And then we're going to add the beginning of this word. Asks. Asks. When you separate it like that with just the KS at the end, it kind of helps to more accurately say this word without feeling too weird about it. Let's put it in a sentence. When my son asks why for the fourth time, I tell him, I don't know. If you've ever had a toddler or a 3-year-old like I do, they like to ask why for everything because they're curious about the world, and that's fine, but you know, sometimes it's a little excessive. So let's try to say this sentence together and focus on the word asks, but don't forget our previous word, fourth. When my son asks why for the fourth time, I tell him, I don't know. When my son asks why for the fourth time, I tell him, I don't know. Our next word that ends in SKS is desks. Desks. If you are a teacher or even if you work in an office and there are a lot of desks, you might have to say this word a lot, which could get tricky, but that's why we're here, right? To practice it. So let's try to say this word. Let's separate KS from the first part, DES. Desks, 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 desks. Let's put it in a sentence. The teacher asks the students to sit at their assigned desks. Let's slow it down and I want you to try to say this sentence with me. The teacher asks the students to sit at their assigned desks. Their assigned desks. Let's go to the next one. Tasks, tasks. Let's separate KS from the first part, TAS. Tas, tas. And then we'll add on X, tasks, tasks. Can you say it with me? Tasks, tasks. Let's add on to a sentence. One of my weekly tasks is cleaning off the desks. Say it with me. One of my weekly tasks is cleaning off the desks. One of my weekly tasks is cleaning off the desks. Our final word in this section with SKS is risks. Risks. Let's do the same thing that we've been doing before. Separate the first part from KS. Risks. Risks. Say it with me. risks, risks. Let's put it in a sentence. The zookeeper's weekly tasks have some high risks. The zookeeper's weekly tasks have some high risks, like brushing the lion's teeth. This is a high-risk activity. So let's try to say that sentence together. The zookeeper's weekly tasks have high risks, like brushing the lion's teeth. Okay, let's go to our final category, which are words that end in STS. Ah, lovely word, tests, tests. In my opinion, this is taking what we just talked about with SKS to the next level. There's something about the word T that makes it a little bit harder than a K. So let's slow down these words and try to do the same separation of ts, ts, that TS from the beginning of the word. Let's take this word tests. But first, let's just practice that ending, TS. Can you say that with me? Ts, ts. This is different than just S. S, s. There needs to be a hard T sound at the beginning. Ts, ts, ts. Now let's add on the beginning of the word. Tests, tests, tests. There's not an awful lot that's happening with your tongue to change the shape between the S letter and the T letter and then the S again. Instead, there's just a change in the amount of air emphasis. Tests, tests. Your tongue's doing a little bit of work for that T, but it is quite subtle and yet important. Let's put it in a sentence. The skydiver always tests his limits with the risks he takes. For you, is it the same? Is it the same that the TS is tougher than the KS sound, comparing tests to risks? That's how it is for me, but maybe it's different for you. Let's try to say the sentence all together. The skydiver always tests his limits with the risks he takes. The skydiver always tests his limits with the risks he takes. Let's go on to the next word. Posts, posts. Let's separate this word. Let's say posts and then add on ts, ts. Can you say that with me? Posts, 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 posts. I feel like I need a massage after this. It's quite difficult. All right, let's try to put this all together in a sentence. The teacher always posts the grades of the tests online. Testing your skills here. The teacher always posts the grades of the tests online. The teacher always posts the grades of the tests online. You might be wondering, can I just say the result of the test online, or the teacher always posts the results? Can you cut off that last S? And the answer is, unfortunately, no. It's not grammatically correct, and it's not going to sound correct if you cut off that S. And that's what I see a lot of English learners doing, because yes, this is a tricky sound in English, but it needs to be there. You need that final S. So I hope today is able to help you practice that a little bit more. Let's go to one final word. Beasts. Beasts. So let's separate it from the beginning of this word. Beasts. Beasts. Say it with me. Beasts. 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 Let's put it in a sentence. My uncle posts pictures of mysterious beasts online, but I know they're fake. Let's say it together. My uncle posts pictures of mysterious beasts online, but I know they're fake. My uncle posts pictures of mysterious beasts online, but I know they're fake. Okay, are you ready to take this all to the next level? We're gonna put this together in a little story using most of the words that we talked about today. Get your thinking cap on, get your muscles ready to pronounce. Let's do it. Once a month, I take a hiking trip. One of the risks of this is running into wild beasts with big teeth. My mom worries about me, so she always asks for my checklist of safety tasks before I go. When I was preparing for my 4th hiking trip, I ran some tests to check my rain gear. When I return home, I enjoy sharing pictures of nature in posts on social media. I encourage all of you to take a break from your desks and computers and enjoy nature. I'm gonna say this story one more time, but this time I want you to try to repeat the story with me. I want you to exercise those pronunciation muscles and test yourself with these tough words. All right, let's say this story together. Once a month, I take a hiking trip. One of the risks of this is running into wild beasts with big teeth. My mom worries about me, so she always asks about my checklist of safety tasks before I go. When I was preparing for my 4th hiking trip, I ran some tests to check my rain gear. When I return home, I enjoy sharing pictures of nature in posts on social media. I encourage you all to take a break from your desks and computers and enjoy nature. The next speaking lesson is a pronunciation test. Are you ready to test your speaking skills? See if you can pronounce these difficult words correctly in the pronunciation test. Words like receipt, girl, early, bus. You're gonna practice these words and see what your score is. Let's go. I'm gonna show you a challenge sentence that uses 4 difficult words. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to say that sentence out loud before I talk about anything. This is your original pronunciation. I want you to hear your original pronunciation. And then I'm gonna read that sentence, but I'm gonna mispronounce one word. I want you to guess which word is mispronounced. There are sometimes multiple ways to pronounce each word, but I want you to be listening for what is the most natural way to pronounce each word in fast English. And finally, I'm going to be saying the sentence correctly, and I want you to be able to say it with me. So I want you to repeat the correct sentence with me. Are you ready to get started with sentence number 1? Let's do it. This is sentence number 1. I want you to say this sentence all by yourself. Test your original pronunciation. Go ahead, say it out loud. Okay, now I'm going to say the sentence and I'm going to mispronounce one word. Can you guess which word I mispronounce? I buy clothes through the internet. I buy clothes through the internet. Which word did I say incorrectly? Did you hear clothes or clothes? You heard the second one, but really that's not correct. Instead, when we speak in fast English, we often pronounce close a lot like close the door. I buy clothes through the internet. All right, let's go through each of these challenging words and I want to help you say them correctly. That first word, buy, buy. It sounds exactly like bye, see you later, buy. And then we have close, which I just mentioned sounds a lot like close the door, close the door. When native speakers are speaking a little bit slower, they might add a TH sound, clothes, clothes. You see how my tongue comes out a little bit for that TH? Clothes. But really, when we're speaking quickly, it just sounds like close, close. And then we have the word through. Oh, this word is lovely. We have a TH followed by an R. Let's practice it slowly. Your tongue is coming out between your teeth and there's some air. That's a wonderful TH sound. threw. It sounds like I threw the ball. This is the past tense of throw. I threw the ball. So let's try to say this. Threw, threw. And then we have our final word, internet. What's happening to that middle T? Internet. You can say internet with a clear T if you're speaking a little bit slower, but when native speakers are speaking quickly, we're going to cut out that T completely and just say internet. Internet. Let's go back and try to say this full sentence clearly and naturally together. Are you ready? I buy clothes through the internet. I buy clothes through the internet. Were you repeating with me? I hope so, because we've got 3 more challenge sentences and I want you to test your pronunciation. Let's go to number 2. Here's sentence number 2. I'm going to pause and I want you to try to say this sentence all by yourself. Test your original pronunciation. Go ahead. Okay, now I'm going to say it, but I'm going to mispronounce one word. Can you guess which word is incorrect? A little girl took the recept to the bus. The little girl took the recept to the bus. Which word is wrong? Did you hear receipt or recept? You heard number 2, but that's not correct. Instead, the P is silent. So you're going to say receipt, receipt. Just completely forget about that P in there. All right, let's go through each of these challenging words because I want to make sure that you can pronounce them correctly. The first one is little, little. You see there's 2 T's in the middle of this word, but really in American English, those T's are going to become D sounds. So it's going to sound like little, little, like a lid that you put on a container, little. And then we have girl. A lot of these words, girl, world, early, those words can be a little bit tricky, so let's break this one down. Girl, girl. When you want to talk about the sound that an angry dog makes, you could say grr, grr, and then we're going to add ul at the end. Girl, girl, girl. Notice that my mouth isn't really moving here. It's all inside my mouth and in my throat. Girl, girl. And with the L, my tongue is coming beside my teeth. Girl. It's right there. Girl, girl. All right, and the next word is receipt, receipt, receipt. Receipt. This is the piece of paper that you get after you make a purchase. The cashier will give you a receipt. And then our final word is bus. Sometimes this short U sound can be a little bit tricky, so I want to make sure you're not saying bus, bus, boss. Make sure you say bus, bus, bus. All right, let's go back and say this full sentence together. The little girl took the receipt to the bus. The little girl took the receipt to the bus. Did you say that with me? Let's say it one more time. The little girl took the receipt to the bus. Great work. Let's go on to the next challenge sentence. All right, here's sentence number 3. I want you to say it all by yourself. Are you ready? Test your original pronunciation. Go ahead. Okay, now it's my turn. I'm going to mispronounce one word. Listen carefully. In the early winter, I didn't miss the warm weather. In the early winter, I didn't miss the warm weather. In the early winter, I didn't miss the warm weather. Which one of these challenge words did I mispronounce? Did you hear warm or warm? You heard that second one, but that's not correct. Instead, the word warm has just one syllable, not warm. Instead, warm, warm. Notice how my lips are in an O shape. Warm, warm with a clear R. Warm. All right, let's go through each of these challenge words so that you can say them correctly. The first one is early. This is similar to what we talked about with girl. Early. Let's break it into two sections. And then lee. Early. Make sure that when you say the L, your tongue is touching the back of your teeth. Lee. Early. Don't add another sound in there. I often hear English learners say early, early, but that in the middle isn't natural. So let's make sure you say early and put it together. Early. Next we say winner. What is happening to the T in the middle of this word? You might hear native speakers say winter with a clear T if they're enunciating clearly and maybe speaking a little slowly. It's fine to do that, but when native speakers speak fast, you're gonna hear winner. When's the Winter Olympics? Winner. This is the same as a winner and a loser. It's the same pronunciation, so make sure that the context helps you to know which word it is. Does this sound familiar? Internet, winner. Yeah, we're cutting out that T, especially when there's an NT in the middle of a word. Internet, winter, winner. You're going to hear that a lot in fast English. Next we have the word didn't. But this is the clear pronunciation. When native speakers are speaking quickly, we do not say didn't with each sound pronounced. Instead, you're going to hear didn't. There's a lot going on here in your throat. Didn't. So that final D is cut short, and the final T as well is cut. So it's really going to be just your throat. Can you say that with me? Didn't. If you have trouble pronouncing or hearing or understanding contractions, it's probably because we cut off a lot of those sounds, we reduce them. That's something that's natural in English. I made a video about how to pronounce 81 different contractions. You can check it out up here because this happens to a lot of different contractions, and I want to make sure you can pronounce them, but also that you can understand them. The difference between a positive word, did, and didn't is very important when you're having a conversation. All right, let's go to the last word. Warm. Make sure that this is one syllable. Warm. Do you think you can put all of these words together? You got it. Let's say it together. In the early winter, I didn't miss the warm weather. In the early winter, I didn't miss the warm weather. In the early winter, I didn't miss the warm weather. In the early winter, I didn't miss the warm weather. Great work. All right, let's go to the final challenge sentence. Here's our final challenge sentence. Can you say this all by yourself? Go ahead. Now it's my turn. I'm going to mispronounce one word. I want you to guess which one it is. I definitely thought the water at the beach was salty. I definitely thought the water at the beach was salty. Which word is incorrect? Did you hear thought or sought? You heard the second one, sought. But does this word start with an S? No. Instead, it starts with a TH. So you need to make sure that your tongue is between your teeth and there's that stream of air coming through. We already talked about that word. Thought. All right, let's go through each of these challenge words so that you can pronounce them correctly. What's happening with this word definitely? I feel like words like definitely, certainly, probably, those words can be a little bit tricky. I talked about some of those in this pronunciation lesson up here, but the word definitely we use a lot, and you probably would like to use a lot, but you need to pronounce it correctly. So let's break it down. Definitely. 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 It's definitely a beautiful day. This is definitely a helpful lesson. I hope so. The next word is that lovely word we just talked about, thought. Thought. Make sure that your tongue is between your teeth. I often hear English learners switching an S and a TH sound, sought instead of thought. And in some situations, this could be a little bit difficult for other English speakers to understand you, so make sure that you say this correctly. Thought, thought. And then we have the word water, water. What's the sound that you hear in the middle of this word? Water, water. Well, it's not a T sound, water. Instead, it's a D. Here we have again, the T is changing to a D. This is typical in American English. Water, water. I want you to say that with me. Water, water. And finally, we have the word beach. Beach. A lot of you are concerned that you might say a rude word instead. So let's practice that vowel sound. It needs to be a long E. Beach, beach, beach. And really, the context here is going to help you a lot. So when we're talking about the water at the beach is salty, you're most likely talking about the ocean, the sea. You're not talking about a rude word. So I think the context is going to help you a lot. But make sure that when you pronounce it, you say E, beach. All right, let's go back and say that full sentence. I definitely thought the water at the beach was salty. I definitely thought the water at the beach was salty. I definitely thought the water at the beach was salty. Great work. I hope that you had a chance to say that sentence out loud with me and test your pronunciation. Are you ready for a final challenge? We're going to go back and say all 4 of those sentences, and I want you to say them out loud with me. I'm going to say them 2 times so that you can listen, and then you can also repeat. Are you ready? Let's say them together. I buy clothes through the internet. I buy clothes through the internet. The little girl took the receipt to the bus. The little girl took the receipt to the bus. In the early winter, I didn't miss the warm weather. In the early winter, I didn't miss the warm weather. I definitely thought the water at the beach was salty. I definitely thought the water at the beach was salty. Congratulations! Over this lesson, you have leveled up your speaking skills. I hope you really took this opportunity to speak out loud, to copy my voice, imitate these words so that you can gain the confidence you need when you have a real English conversation. And if you want to continue getting speaking practice with me, I'd like to invite you to join me in the Speak with Vanessa AI app. You can get unlimited speaking practice 24/7 if you want. And the best thing, in my opinion, is it is stress-free. You're not giving a presentation in front of your coworkers. You are speaking in comfort and peace in your own home or wherever you want. You can simply open the app and speak with me. There is no judgment and no stress. I love that. This is a great way to grow your speaking practice and also your confidence. So to check out this Speak with Vanessa AI app, click on the link in the description to learn more. I would love to speak with you. Well, thank you so much for learning English with me. I want to know in the comments, which one of these difficult words was the most difficult for you? Is it a word like receipt? Is it a word like months? Is it a word like entrepreneur? Which word is the most difficult for you? Let us know in the comments. Maybe other people will have the same difficult word as you. And don't forget to download the free PDF worksheet plus downloadable audio. You can click on the link in the description, enter your name and email address, And just like that, the PDF worksheet and free bonus audio will be in your email inbox. This is absolutely free. You just need to enter your name and email address, and I will send it to you so that you can really get the most out of today's lesson. Well, thank you so much for learning English with me, and I'll see you again next Friday for a new lesson here on my YouTube channel. Bye! But wait, do you want more? I recommend watching this video next, where you will have a speaking practice with me. I will ask you questions and you will need to answer them right away. No hesitation, just practice. I hope you'll do this with me, and I'll see you there.